Good morning, everybody. I'm currently at work, as you can see by all the fancy stuff behind me. It is April 1st, and it's the first day to the Owls Readathon. I don't have my TBR video out yet. I edited it about halfway through Friday night with every intention on finishing it on Sunday, but I made plans with my friends and I stayed with them later than I intended to. And then when I got back, my computer decided it was a great time to update for 3 hours. So by the time that was all said and done, it was 10:30. I'm like, well, I have work in the morning and I have an acting thing after work, so I kind of need my sleep. So I don't have my TBR video out, but I hope to by either tonight or tomorrow night. Fingers crossed it's tonight, though. I'd rather have it out tonight. I'm going to download Release by Patrick Ness, and I want to try to listen to that today while I do some stuff at work. And I'll try to check in with you as much as I can today. Alright, hi everybody. I had wanted to check in much earlier than now, but unfortunately it was just so busy I just didn't get a chance to. It's 11:15 at night. I finally have my TBR video uploading to YouTube as we speak. I had planned on finishing this video maybe about an hour ago, but as I was working on editing it and making my thumbnail, I was starting to have a lot of issues like making my thumbnail, and I couldn't understand why. Like, I was trying to erase around where my glasses are so you can see like the background through my glasses, and for some reason it wasn't doing that, and for like 30 minutes I couldn't figure out why until eventually, you know what, let's unlock a layer, and yep, I had accidentally locked a layer. So it took me an hour to do a thumbnail, which normally takes me 15 to 30 minutes. But it's done. Video is uploading. Work was pretty busy. I only listened to this book here, Release by Patrick Ness, for a couple hours today. And then I went to that acting class. This acting class, if you're not familiar with what this is, I actually booked this gig, when I was doing the BookTube games. Basically, the casting director in Boston, like one of the casting directors in Boston, rather, excuse me, she also teaches or helps teach this directing class at BU. She works with the professor and she tries to get legitimate working actors for these directors so they know what to expect when they're working with legitimate actors. I usually try to sign up for it because I really, for me, this is a networking opportunity. I get on the good side of this casting director. I keep, I stay on her radar, and I get to meet really cool actors and just, hearing the lay of the land when I do stuff like this. It's a 6-week class. I don't get paid for it. Really, this is just a brown-nosing opportunity. This is networking. I took the train home. I walked home, but as soon as I got home, I really wasn't into, getting down and editing this video right away. I really wanted to relax. So I made myself some popcorn, and then I decided to watch YouTube for an hour and a half. And after that, I finally sat down, edited this video, and now it's going live as we speak. I suppose I should really talk about what I read today. Like I said, I listened to this for a total of 2 hours. It's 80 pages. Yes, 80 pages. And so far, I'm not really caring for this. 80 pages is a good chunk of this book. It's about 260, so it's maybe a third of the way, not quite. I'm not getting where this guy is going with the story. So it's basically about this guy named Adam. He's gay, he got his heart broken by this guy, and now he's dating a different guy, kind of just to try to get over the first guy. First guy is now moving out of town, and he's on his way to a party. The party itself is, a goodbye party for this first guy. And all throughout these 80 pages, we really learn more about Adam and his backstory and his home life. Like, he's from a very conservative family, but it's uber conservative. Like, the parents are super strict. Like, the dad's a pastor, and all the rules are religious based. And honestly, I had a tough time with that because that was my childhood. All of my rules were religious based, and I just kept having flashbacks to my childhood, and I didn't necessarily have the happiest of childhoods. I mean, it was decent enough, it was good, it had its good moments, but overall, I don't necessarily I don't look back at my childhood with all that much fondness. Like I said, it had its moments, but and listening to this guy talk about his parents, then it's just not really upsetting me, but it's also not getting me, in the mood to really enjoy this book. And every other chapter, the chapter focuses on a girl that died that Adam has talked about, and I guess this is her spirit. These chapters are so out of place, it's not even funny, unless at the end we find out how all of this ties together. I mean, this has to be a really good twist for me to like this, because so far I just feel like just cut those pieces out and the story would, flow better. There's definitely some sort of mystery happening with this girl's spirit, but honestly, nothing has really happened for me to feel intrigue about this mystery. It just feels really like jarring and out of place. Honestly, if you take this out, this would be like Love, Simon vibes. But I'm going to continue reading this. Like I said in my TBR video, this is the only book I chose. I believe it was Defense Against the Dark Arts. I really just edited this video. You'd think I know for sure. Pretty sure it's for Defense Against the Dark Arts, and it's the only book I chose for that prompt. I guess I could start reading something else, but after 2 hours of really committing to this, I feel like I will finish this book relatively fast. Like, I'll give it that. It's a fast read, but I'd be very surprised if I rated this more than 3 stars. Alright, so I think my video is done uploading. I'm going to add, the end screen to it, make my lunch, and finally get my butt to bed. I have work and I need to be up for 6:30 tomorrow. I am up way past my bedtime. Hi everybody, it is Wednesday. I didn't vlog at all yesterday. I took various clips with the intention of vlogging later in the day, but I just didn't do it. So Tuesday was my usual 9 to 2 at job number 1. Unfortunately, it was so swamped. I actually had to stay later to get things done because a lot of what I do is time sensitive. So I stayed at work till about 3:15, 3:30, and then I just peaced out. Pretty sure the financial department's probably gonna sass me because they only have X amount in the budget for my job to begin with. But I'm not working for free, I can tell you that. And since the majority of my day was making stock and filling stock, and then sending said stock out, my day was just pretty low key. It was busy, but it's not like I had a lot of I guess intellectually stimulating work to do. It was just a lot of busy work that just needed to get done. So I actually finished this on audiobook yesterday. It was released by Patrick Ness, and I didn't really like this. Like I said on Monday, it looked like there was 2 different storylines happening, but within the same universe. The main storyline is Adam. He's had his heart broken by Enzo, and he's dating a guy named Linus now. And he's closeted from his very uber religious parents. Now his storyline was basically coming to terms with who he is despite his parents, and him just embracing himself despite being told that what he's doing is wrong, which was far more interesting, and I enjoyed reading that versus this other storyline which I thought was a ghost. But I guess the ghost of the girl that got murdered, I guess, melded into the spirit queen, and then them fighting for consciousness is creating chaos in the real world. And I guess the fawn that's the queen's companion is following her and trying to do conflict detail. What's the word I'm looking for? Just the cleanup behind her, just to make sure she's not completely destroying the world. And it just didn't make sense at all at first. And these 2 different storylines are completely separate until at the very last possible moment, and then I feel like their ending was just completely forced. I get what the point is. Both the queen and both Adam are trying to find their release, trying to find their center. And that's the overall theme to the story. It's just the whole spirit queen thing was just baffling. I feel like that could have been its own separate story. I also would have liked to have seen more of a wrap up in regards to Adam. I feel like As much as I loved his story, his ending also was very forced. Like both endings were just forced. So in the end, I rated it 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And when I got home, I was just so tired that I just really wasn't interested in really reading. So I watched TV. I think I watched Wreck-It Ralph, and then I watched a couple episodes of Dr. Blake Mysteries. While I was watching Dr. Blake Mysteries, I had realized that, like, oh, I technically already seen this episode. I already know who did it. So I started reading through this, which is Post Secret. I got this specifically for BookTube games, just, to try to crank out some extra pages. Never got around to reading it. And it's due on Saturday. I've already renewed it, and it needs to go now. So I read that just to bring it back. I have a couple of books here that's kind of like that, so you're probably going to see different things. Like, this is due on Saturday, too. Yes, I'm Hot in This, which is a graphic novel, and I want to say this is pronounced Kintz, because it's supposed to be like this person gets her powers after her quinceañera, if I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'm really sorry. Like, I enjoyed the cover and I wanted to read this, but this is also due on Saturday. So I might get distracted reading other things than the books that I said I was going to read. Now, today was a different story. It wasn't nearly as hectic as yesterday. Normally, my Wednesdays, I relax a little bit in the morning, walk to the gym, work out at the gym, and then walk back from the gym. And then I attempt to film a video, but most of the time it doesn't really happen. Today I really wanted to film a video. I want to try to stay on schedule. I want to try scheduling Mondays and Thursdays this month, especially since I'm trying to do vlogs. I don't want my channel to just be vlogs for the month of April. So instead of going to the gym and wasting like 40 minutes to an hour walking back and forth from the gym, I just opted to go for a run today. I filmed my video. Here's hoping I actually get it edited. This weekend I'm also finally filming the job I got when I announced it on BookTube Games. My scene is finally coming up. So I don't know how much time I'm going to have to actually edit this weekend. Oh, excuse me. See, I'm tired. Because after all that, I went to work, got out of work at 9 p.m. and it is 10:30 p.m. Today at work, most of the time, like half my shift is usually spent paging, which is going into the stacks and grabbing books that people have requested, either from my library or from other libraries. And while I do that, I listen to an audiobook, and I actually was able to find this on audiobook. I had said that I picked a different book as an audiobook because I couldn't find Still Alice as an audiobook on Hoopla. But I was able to find it on Overdrive, was able to request it, and I got it. So I'm actually listening to this as an audiobook on Overdrive, and I like the story so far. I don't like the narrator. It's the author. She reads it, and I've gotten spoiled by listening to actors. She has a really nice speaking voice. However, there's just no intonation to any of these lines. Oh, are you busy? No, are you? It's just kind of deadpan. Like, she's gotten better in certain parts, but when it's meant to be pretty high stakes, it just doesn't sound like it. I'm trying to see where I am. I'll listen to this for a couple of hours. I'm to the point where she finally, after several moments of like losing her memory and getting disoriented, and one of them was pretty bad. She looked at someone that she supposedly knew for years, like, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. And people thought she was drunk because they were at a party and they saw the glass of wine in her hand, even though she's only had the one, and people assumed, like, oh, she's being silly because she's just drunk. But I want to say I'm probably about a quarter of the way through this thing now, but I could be wrong. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning. It's been almost a week since I've last checked in with you guys, so I'm not sure how lengthy this vlog is going to be. So on Wednesday, I had said that I had finished Release. At least that's what I'm remembering. I could be wrong. But I did finish Release. I had started Still Alice by Lisa Genova. And that's pretty much where I am still. On Thursday, I worked my usual 9 to 2. I did leave a little bit earlier since I've been staying so late. And right at 2, I got my nails done. Now, I was a little late leaving work because right now work is so busy that in order to get things done in a timely manner, because a lot of this is time sensitive. I've been having to stay late, and Thursday was no exception. And I'm not liking that at all. I'm like, I should be able to clock in and clock out when I'm supposed to. I feel like I keep getting extra responsibility and not enough extra time. Like, they don't have the funding to give me more hours. Granted, I don't want to be full-time. F that noise. But I feel like they're starting to expect more out of me. I'm like, no, this is part-time. Part-time work gets part-time loyalty. Especially when I'm part-time, because one, you don't have the funding for full-time, but also because you don't want to pay for full-time. Last year, I needed help in the resource center, and my boss tried getting an unpaid intern. Like, and I hate that. I'm like, no. Even interns have bills to pay. Don't expect them to like work for free. He's like, oh, well, look at high school students. They just need the experience. Like, but high school students, their time should also be monetized. Like, if you're going to monetize their labor, they should be compensated. I freaking hate the idea of, unpaid internships. And it's getting to the point now that every time I leave, I'm like, I can't wait until I can give my notice. I can't wait until I give my notice. It's just, it could be because I'm overextending myself, like outside of work as well. So I had to run out of work to make it to my nail appointment. I was still a little bit late for my nail appointment. I think what else that I did. I did some reading later that night. Actually, I ended up reading Yes, I'm Hot in This and Kints, like those two graphic novels I had told you about. I enjoyed both of them. I think offhand I rated both of them 4 out of 5 stars. It's really windy, so if you're having a tough time hearing me, sorry. Yes, I'm Hot in This. Like, I really enjoyed learning about Huda's story, like what it means to be in a Muslim American in a post 9/11 world. Well, in a post 9/11 America, not world. Sorry, that was my my American showing, my man. And people are real jerks. This woman is a saint. She has the patience of a saint. And I loved I loved her humor and how she was able to incorporate her story and a lot of like geeky references that I understood. She talked there's like elements of Harry Potter and Star Wars. It was very good. Her art style isn't necessarily one that I enjoyed though, which is why I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It's definitely more of a webcomic format. Kins I really enjoyed as well. Basically, it's about this high school girl who has a quinceañera and she gets superpowers, but she only has her superpowers when she's 15. Once she turns 16, she loses them. So she has to do as much good as she can in that 1 year. I disliked, as much as I loved all the characters, I thought all the characters were really fun and I related to all of them. I just didn't like how the grandmother pretty much worked this girl to the bone. Like, granted, she only has 1 year with these superpowers, but she's still a kid. So I wish there was a focus on self-care. But I loved the overall message. Like, you don't need to be a superhero with superpowers to be heroic, which was very nice. Friday, I did my usual shift, 1 to 5. I didn't really read. Like, I read Still Alice for a tiny bit, but Friday was an adulting day. I had to redo my budget. I had to pay some bills, and then it's been so long since I cleaned my apartment. I had to properly clean my apartment, like dusting and I was gonna say vacuuming, but I don't vacuum because I have a hardwood floor. Sweeping, I did that after work, and I think I was up until midnight, 1 o'clock, just cleaning my apartment. And Saturday was my usual 9 to 5 at job number 2 at the public library, which I didn't actually read. The gig that I got hired to do during BookTube games was coming up this past weekend, and so I had to study lines, which is what I did during my lunch break, and then for a little bit when I got home. I didn't really study them for very long. I kind of watched movies for the majority of my week. Now that I'm thinking about it, Thursday night I saw Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Friday I saw Thug, which was amazing. It was so good. And Saturday nights I saw Heart Beats Loud with my husband because he had wanted to watch that too. So it's just been like a week of watching movies. Well, on Sunday I had that gig that I told you guys about. It ended up being like a pretty long day. And so I think I left around 2 o'clock. And like most acting gigs, I actually didn't really get on set until about 7 o'clock. So it was just super late. So, and because it was super late, I ended up having to crash at my in-laws. My in-laws were super nice and let me stay at their place. And now it's Monday. I listened to Still Alice for a tiny bit this morning on the train. As you can see, I'm waiting for my next train to work. To not walk so much, I want to get off at a certain stop, which during rush hour is only at certain times. So I'm stuck waiting, at least for a little bit. So I'm going to wrap things up here. I'm going to try to be better this week about vlogging. Sorry for being weird. There's actually a guy standing right there and I just noticed him. Oh, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so I'm going to try to be better about vlogging this week. That's wholly dependent on my schedule since, you know, I'm a person who doesn't know how to relax. But I hope to actually read some more stuff. I was able to complete one owl. I want to finish Still Alice within the next day or two. Complete a second owl. Like my goal is to actually complete at least 2 this week. Finish Still Alice and read something else. I might get ambitious and do 3. But I'll check in with you guys later. I hope you all have a great week. Bye.